Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mide. I'm Shereen.
And I'm Pepe.
Yeah, she's my dive buddy, and we are here today to talk about diving in Terengganu and why we enjoy it so much, and the Sultan Mizan Underwater Photography Awards. How does this work? Okay.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll go first. Let's talk about diving in Terengganu. So I'm sure you know Terengganu is a small state at the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. Everyone know, right? I'm sure you know your geo. So why dive in Terengganu? You know, why is this such a favorite spot for both of us in Terengganu? In Terengganu, there are actually multiple islands which you can choose from, and they are all paradise to us. I mean, in our view. So we have Pulau Tenggo, my favorite, Lang Tengah, her favorite. Then we have Redang and Perhentian, and just to name a few. They also have white sandy beaches and crystal clear waters, warm waters.
And I think the amazing dive sites that we are able to find in Redang, Perhentian, because there are a lot of wrecks there.
Yeah.
And also in Pulau Kapas, there's a dive site that is below 40 meters with a very important wreck as well.
Yep. So besides all the beautiful, rich marine life, we have wrecks, we have unique rock formations, we have flourishing reefs as well. So whether you're on a budget or whether you have a little extra to splurge around, you always have the right resorts in Terengganu to choose from.
Exactly. Which comes to the next thing, because most people will think that, oh, I need to go to other parts of the world to shoot certain things, like macro, you have Lembeh, you have Tulamben. But I want to share with you some photos that some of our friends have provided us, so that you know that in places in Terengganu like Tenggol, and even in Redang Perhentian, if you look hard enough, and if your dive masters have got very good eyesight, you will be able to find certain critters that you can choose to shoot macro with, yeah? Okay, this is, Pei, what is this?
Flambalina,
Flambalina.
nudie branch. We should maybe ask the photographer. Right?
Okay, and this is the Pikachu nudie,
Yeah.
and that's shot by our friend Steve. And this is also a nudie, but what's interesting about this photo is that it's very pastel. I think the photographer is here sitting right in front. His name is Jijun. And this is a batwing slug. Yeah. And this is also, you can also find this subject in places like Tenggol. Yeah. So Terengganu has a lot of critters. If you look hard enough, they are easy to actually photograph. Okay. Not to mention blennies. If you like cute little fishes like this, there's blennies as well. More blennies. Okay, you'd be surprised to find that, you know, you have even tiny cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish.
Yeah. So this one Pepe actually came across by chance, right, Pe?
Yes, it was actually spotted by my dive buddy, having a hard time trying to chase after this fella. So pestering is good. Pester till you get the right shot. I think he's probably annoyed with me, so he stopped moving around.
Okay, and of course, our waters have a lot of very beautiful clownfish. This one requires a lot of patience to actually shoot, but if you are patient enough and if you wait your time, bide your time, you'll be able to get the shot that you actually want, okay? Albert, okay. This is a hairy shrimp or a really tiny one? Where's Albert? Okay, but anyway, you'll be surprised that you can also find critters like this in the waters of Terengganu. You don't need to go too far away like Indonesia or where else to be able to find amazing critters like this. Not easy to shoot because it's the size of a grain of sand, but it's there. Shit, how to go back? Okay, and this is, does anyone know what this is? Yes, okay. And it's amazing that you're able to actually find skeleton shrimps in Tenggol as well. Okay, and this is really an amazing shot. And last year's runner-up for macro in the Grand Awards category, this is his shot of a shrimp. Okay, but anyway, I want to tell you that basically in Terengganu, you are able to basically find enough subjects for macro photography if you are thinking of joining the Sultan Mizan Underwater Photography Awards. Okay, let's go to wide angle. Okay, as you know, Redang is famous for its turtles, and there's lots of opportunities for you to shoot these wonderful creatures. Whether in the reefs, more reefs, okay? And you also have subjects like very beautiful fishes that you can actually focus on, but they're not very easy to shoot because they move around so much. So really, as a photographer, you just have to stay in one place and take your time, focus, and you will get the shot that you need. And of course, jellyfishes. Need to be a bit brave to come close to this, but it's very beautiful when you get the shot. Okay, the islands in Terengganu, Perhentian, Redang, Kapas, all have very different kinds of reefs, wrecks, right? So wrecks are another subject that you can focus on in order to shoot for wide-angle photography as well. And also reefs, divers. Okay, I'm not sure whether you recognize the diver, but he's Guan Liang from Tenggol Coral. He's also a very good spotter, by the way. Okay, this is in Bidong, shot by David. Okay, the sharks in these pictures is not actually very big. These are actually baby sharks that are only about this long. I took this under the jetty at Summer Bay Lang Tengah. It might look like there's a lot of huge sharks, but no, this is actually baby sharks feeding on sardines. Okay. There's also potential for split shots as well. So if you are thinking of submitting your photos for the competition this year, split shots are also something that you can also consider doing. Like I said, that the sharks are not very big at the jetty. So you know how you basically try to position the picture will give you an image that might just wow some people.
I actually like this shot a lot.
Okay.
I think before we go into that, we just want to summarize and say the best part about diving in Terengganu is it's very easy, accessible. You can drive there, or it's even a short flight from KL only. Driving there, you don't have to waste one additional day for your pre-flight surface interval, which is great. So, yep, let's go into the awards category.
Okay. The Sultan Mizan Underwater Photography Awards was started last year. Last year was the first inaugural competition. Okay.
So this is the second year of the competition, and there's some competition details for your information, which you can check out later at the tourism booth of Terengganu. So the competition is open to all photographers, whether you're an amateur, semi-pro, or professional individuals as well. Photos must be captured in the waters of Terengganu, and it must be between 1st of January to 30th of November. So the last submission date is 30th of November this year. So very important, entry is without a fee. So no entry fees, and you can submit up to 2 photos on the selected categories, which Shereen will run through with us later. Another important thing to note is you need to obtain the dive center or DM signature with accompanying receipt as proof of stay in Terengganu.
Last year, basically, you needed a proof of stay in Terengganu, but this year, the rules have been relaxed a little bit. So if you're doing a day trip with any of the dive centers in Terengganu, that will also suffice. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
So for more details, you can always go to their website, sultanmizanphotography.com.
Yeah, or you can check out the Terengganu booth. There are a lot of the winners' picture from last year. So check out and how they take photos. You know, you can learn a little bit or two.
The booth located basically at A14 to A19 is just over at that end, yeah? So for more information, you can always ask them. Okay, now which category and how many photos can I actually submit? There are actually 2 categories under the Sultan Mizan Underwater Photography Awards. You have basically the Grand Awards category and the Ocean Spirits category. Now the Grand Awards category is for serious hobbyists, skilled photographers with DSLR, mirrorless, interchangeable lens camera, or anybody who has a camera in that category. Okay? You can basically submit 2 photos per contestant, whether it's 2 wide-angle photos, 2 macro photos, or 1 of each. Okay? And likewise, for the Ocean Spirit Awards category, there are also a maximum of 2 photos per contestant. You can do, again, wide-angle 1 photo, macro 1 photo, or both in either category. Okay? Now, GoPro still pictures will fall within the Ocean Spirits Awards category. So you don't need compact cameras alone. GoPro photos will also fall within this category. And this year, they've added another new category, which is short videos. Okay? Now, the videos need to be 3 minutes in length, right? And 50% of the videos need to be shot underwater. So this year for the awards, there's a new category that is added for people who want to submit videos. Okay. So for any additional information about SMUDA and to see all the photos of the winners presented last year, their booth is A14 to A19. Okay, the ladies there are more than happy to assist. Okay, what Pepe and I are going to do now is to share our experience shooting for this particular competition. As a hobby for me, I tend to just shoot everything I see, and that's from the very beginning when I first had my compact camera. And then after a while, I realized that, oh no, I don't have much space to store my photographs, so I think I should really shoot selectively. Now, when you're shooting for a competition, I think it's important to actually prepare for your shot, okay? To have a think about what kind of shot you actually want to produce, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit of how I came up with the shot that I won. It came in second in the Grand Awards category. I was flying to Terengganu, and I was thinking to myself, hey, Lang Tengah has the first underwater airplane rack, yeah? And I was thinking like, oh, okay, maybe I shoot the plane. And then I was flying there, I was thinking like, oh, got clouds. And if you see, the plane is actually mounted on steel bars. And I was thinking, how do I shoot this thing without the steel bars? So I thought, but planes usually, they fly through clouds, ma. So I think I will create some clouds. And how exactly do I do that? Okay, so I attempted this shot 3 times. 3 times because I thought, okay, I experiment. So the first time I went down with myself and 1 DM. So we were finning the clouds until we ran out of air. So end of story. So I tried again a second time, and I forgot to put the pilot in the plane. So I thought, okay, a plane flying through the clouds with no pilot also doesn't make sense. So what we did was, I finally went down with 5 people in order to prepare for this shot. So we had to put the pilot in the cockpit. And the poor fellow, because I had to put a video light on him, he had to have his eyes closed throughout. you know. And it was difficult for him because he was trying to maintain buoyancy within the cockpit. So when we were trying to shoot, he was going up and down because he couldn't see, right? So it takes a little bit of preparation in order to get this shot. And so happened, I happened to have a Malaysian Airlines pilot with me, which is why I got the blue and red, because on most airplanes, if you didn't know, there's always a red light on one side and a green light on the other side. So input from some professionals sometimes will help make the shot a little bit more creative. Okay, so this was the end shot, but it took 3 of us, including myself, to create the sand clouds from below. So each of the DMs took off their fins, and I'm standing here going like this, and my other 2 DMs are also going like this, and my pilot inside is going up and down. So you know, it took me about maybe 10 shots to actually finally get the clouds that I want, and to also be very careful with the lighting, because this shot was actually taken at about 7 a.m. in the morning. So in order to do the setup, I went out at about 6 in order to actually prep for this shot, because I wanted the shot to look as if it was a sunset shot. So I couldn't have very strong sunlight, yeah. But anyway, you know, just to let you know that for any competition, it's always good to plan your shots, to have a good think outside the box, to think of an image that is unusual, okay? Pepe is going to talk about her nudie.
Well, mine is not as complicated as hers, right? But I was actually using a Olympus TG4, and I know that I wanted to shoot macro. It's impossible to shoot like her for wide angle. So I too plan for my shots, and I know that I like a standing position for my nudie. So it took me a while. I don't have that much of behind the scene like hers, because it's really a lot of field shots before I actually get this nudie and this shot that I wanted. Yeah, so
I think the use of the backlight behind to illuminate the nudie is something that is quite special.
And it's not easy, you know. Sometimes they don't go in the standing position, because if you know nudie very well, they will just tend to move around, not standing up. So patience, a lot of patience is needed to make sure you get what you want.
Okay, so anyway, on behalf of the Terengganu Tourism, I really hope and we look forward to seeing your submissions for 2024. Okay.
She actually liked this picture a lot, but not me. So I think last but not least, we want to say underwater photography is not always about marine life. It's not always about wrecks or unique rock formations. I know it's about, for us, I think it's about capturing the moment in time and creating the memories. So we do it all the time on land, right? Like right now at MIDE, you take a photo and then you take videos of what you have been going through. So no, why not do it underwater, creating memories like this? So,
okay. Does anyone have questions about the Sultan Mizan Underwater Photography Awards? Like I said, it's open to everybody who has a camera or a GoPro. Okay, if not, Pepe and I really thank you for your attention, and we really look forward to seeing you in the waters in Terengganu soon, yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.